Ahoy hoy. Hello everybody. Today I am going to be discussing some things on sort of family history and family preservation. I know for a lot of you who normally watch my blog either here or when I did it on my other channel, I think family history is not something I would normally touch. Normally I stay to more kind of comics and movies and games and that sort of thing. But I worked in a museum for many, many years, so I'm very familiar with preserving history and some of the practices and that sort of thing. Just thought I would share a few tips for you on how to preserve some of your own family history and some of the things you may have lying around the house. And I know one of the biggest things that people have issues with is what to do with photographs. The very first thing I want to say is I know a lot of people have photographs in those magnetic albums. Those are those like sticky albums that were really popular in like late 80s, early 90s. They have that foil or that plastic film that goes over top of it. Those things are terrible. I don't even know how to say that anymore. They are absolutely terrible. Your best case scenario, your photographs fall out everywhere and they kind of maybe they get damaged a little bit. Worst case scenario, and believe me, I've seen the worst case scenario many times. They physically are stuck to the thing and cannot come off, and they actually the acid and the stickiness actually starts to eat away at the photographs, and they start to get like holes in your pictures. So the very first thing you can do to preserve any family history you have is to get your photos out of those albums. So my recommendation is photocopy or scan individual album pages. That way you preserve any history that has been put on them, like whose people are, when this photo was taken, why it was taken. This is really important for people who are going to want to trace family history in the future to know something about these people. Yeah, because without that, there's just maybe that people that you even know or recognize. Once you have that and you have the album kind of preserved the way it is, attempt to take the photos out of the album. Again, if you're lucky, they come out pretty easily. If not, um, well, you're in trouble. If they don't come out easily, then I would move on to step 3 and I would scan the photographs in the album and then crop them out, and at least you have a physical copy somewhere. And that would be step 3 for all of them. Once they're all out, scan them so you have a copy that you can put into your computer, save it on maybe like a hard drive or a couple of different computers. That way you don't lose them. With the loose photos you now have, if you want to do kind of the best possible thing you can do with them, you can get bags that are acid-free. You can just slide your photographs right inside them, and then you put them right into like a filing cabinet or something like that that will be less likely to get burnt if there's a fire. And then just kind of organize them, have like file folders that maybe make it like, even if you want to do album 1, 2, 3, or do it by year, or do it by family, or whatever, they're all in there. They're really easy to just kind of get to, pull out if you want to show somebody them, but you also have them preserved already and scanned. So that would be kind of my tips for photographs. Again, this works well too if you just have loose photographs, because you can put them into your acid-free kind of bags. If you don't want to spend that kind of money, you can even get acid-free folders, and you can just slide them right into those folders. The biggest thing is that acid-free material or archival quality material doesn't have the same acid kind of things that a normal file folder or a normal book might have that will eventually eat away your photographs. If you don't want to go acid-free or you don't want to go kind of that fancy, you can even get just albums that'll put right into a binder that are plastic and you can just slide right in. At least they don't have that sticky thing that will eat away at your photographs. So that's kind of some basic tips on what to do with photographs. You really want to get them scanned into your computer and get them into some place where they're going to be stable and they're not going to decay. When scanning photographs, I recommend scanning them probably at a higher DPS or a higher quality than you ever think you're going to need. As any of you who have done any work with scanning or computers know, computer technology continues to expand. We have more storage, we have more high definition and everything. So scanning them higher now and storing them will make it easier for you to manipulate them later on if you ever want to put them on a website, if you want to blow them up to give them as a gift to a family member or whatever. So definitely scan them at a higher DPS than you think you're actually going to need. Another thing that people have a lot of lying around is old family documents or letters. So maybe you have grandparents or great-grandparents who fought in the First or Second World War, and the dad would send letters home to his his wife, husband send letters home to his wife, and you have them all stored somewhere. The very best thing you can do with these things is, again, stick with the acid-free material. So if you can get some acid-free folders or some acid-free kind of bags that you can just slide them right in, that's really awesome. But the number one thing you can do with them is keep them unfolded. If you ever even just folded up a piece of paper many times and put it into your pocket, you know that it starts to tear along the folds. And old paper is no different. In fact, in some ways it's even worse because the quality that they were writing on may not have been that great. So unfold it, lie it as flat as possible. Try to store it as flat as possible too. So again, either in a filing cabinet where it's kind of on its side, or even somewhere into like a nice kind of like acid-free type box where you can lie them flat all on top of each other. Because they'll tear at the folds, and also that's where you'll see some of the other kind of damage, maybe acidic damage, or if bugs try to get into them. It'll always be at the folds, and this goes for maps, letters, war records, documents, birth certificates, anything. Flat storage, acid-free material, or storage boxes or filing cabinets if you can help it. Now, I know there's lots of other things that people do to preserve their family history. I just wanted to give you a couple quick tips here today on them. Right, so next week I am planning to do a two-parter, so it'll be, I guess, kind of the end of February into the beginning of March, and I'm going to look at the phenomenon of bronies. I'm kind of going to give you like the 5 W's, who bronies are, where they are, what they are, that sort of thing, and then the last one I'll look at why. Why are these people bronies? And in case you don't know, bronies are males between the ages of 15 and 30, I guess, who like the current version of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Alright, well, until I talk to you next week, remember, kids, acid-free is your friend.